can smell the smoke, the sweat, feel the lights on you, and the sense of what's going to happen. I'm John Peters. I was formerly an RAF Tornado fighter pilot, and I was shot down in the first Gulf War in 1991 and held as a prisoner of war. Everyone got together with families and there was all the normal Air Force banter, but when we got in the van and we picked up our guns and everything and got in the van and we were being driven off to fly off, there was this really sudden eerie silence where you suddenly thought, this is real. You know, this is not Top Gun, this is the real deal. We were going around the desert at down to 20 feet, maybe. I don't know. You get to it's basically you just fly really low as you dare. Of course, we knew about Saddam's regime and the cruelty that he inflicted on people. And so, yes, there was that conversation. And John and I were in a pub one night going, if we ever got captured, I said, I'll shoot him. And he turned around and said, no, I'll shoot you. And it was just a joke in the bar because you never think it's going to be you. We got in at midnight and they said, you're going in the morning. And we went, no, we're not. That's ridiculous, because every conversation, there was never going to be a day low-level sortie by a Tornado against an airfield. It was deemed too dangerous. It was all going to be night work. And so literally, when people say you just do what you're told, no, I mean, our formation leader argued for about 2 to 3 hours as we were planning to go, going, this is ridiculous. This is a suicide mission. Our mission was to drop 8 1,000-pound bombs. We were going to loft it. You loft it because you want to stay out of sight of the bubble of all the air defence systems. So a number of miles out from target, you pull the aircraft up into a climb and then you throw the bombs a number of miles onto the airfield. The biggest threat when you enter an integrated air defence system are missile systems. So you've got two things. Either you jam them, and you can fly through, but we don't have as many assets as the Americans have. Or you go, traditionally, the Brits, because we didn't have those assets, will go low and fast at low levels. So you get the ground return off the floor and you fly below the radar. So it's very difficult. It gives their acquisition times a really very short period. So we, during the day, we were going to fly in at low level. The challenge at low level is you are going to get anti-aircraft guns. There is an internal chagrin of conversation. Are John and I really dull? Did we cock up? Whatever. Everything we had done before, gone up to the pull-up point in the head-up display. The timing comes down. I pull up. In the head-up display, you're meant to get all the loft information, and the bomb will automatically release. I committed the loft thing. As I pulled up, just the whole loft dumped. The head-up. All symbolic, it just went left. And by which time, I mean, everyone's shooting us. I mean, you are surrounded by guns, missiles and bullets and everything like that. It was discussion, shall we re-attack? How do you go back to your mates and say you'd failed? But then you say, look, this whole airfield is lit up, and they know you're coming, they've seen you coming, we'll die. So we dumped the bombs in the desert, which that is my biggest failure. And then we headed home, and about 50 miles, 60 miles on the way home, there was a huge kabang and the whole aircraft got hit by a missile and it went right up our right-hand engine. We ejected, I know from the black box, we ejected at 320 feet. So 3 to 1, eject, grab the handle. It's a quarter-second delay. It feels like a complete lifetime. And the seat goes off and it's like a giant grabs you by the shoulders, yanks you out the cockpit. We landed in the desert and it's suddenly deathly quiet. And I was sat down a bit dazed from the ejection, and John wandered across, landed about 100 metres away, he picked up his parachute and wandered across, stood above me and went, "This will be the Iraqi desert." suddenly you get 25 or 20 soldiers with Kalashnikov machine guns coming towards you. We're just lying on the floor. It's completely flat, nothing to behind, just lying on the sand, and they see us and they open up. I remember just as they're coming, I thought, I wore contact lenses at the time, so I flicked my lens out and it was there because the sand was there, and little crescent of the lens, and the first bullet hit that. There they tried to interrogate us, no violence really, just asking us questions. We said nothing there, and it was very much, please tell us or else we'll send us off to we'll have to send you off to the nasty people in Baghdad. And they said that in a way, you don't want to go there, but they were good to their word. People remember Baghdad with all the anti-aircraft guns and being bombed. Well, as we approached, they saw that things started getting nasty. They started smashing your face against the side of the lorry, hitting around the head with pistol butts. You get into the city, everyone's manically firing Kalashnikovs into the sky. You've got the bombs going off, the anti-aircraft guns. Pushed us through, van came to a halt, pushed us through what felt like a corridor of troops, because we were still blindfolded and handcuffed, who, kicking, rifle butting and thumping you, pushed us into a room, an ops building. Within 2 seconds of getting in there, you suddenly heard a bomb hit the room. The whole of the ceiling came down, the 2 walls got blown up, and we got picked up 2 meters, thrown 3 or 4 meters, and ended up under a pile of desks, rubble and chairs. There you can smell and sense 6, 7, 8 men in there. You can smell the smoke, the sweat, feel the lights on you, and the sense of what's going to happen. And they ask your name, Peter's rank, flight lieutenant, so standard interrogation technique, and you're only meant to give name, rank, number, date of birth, and answer no other question. You meant to, back then it was you die rather than answer any other question than those 4. And they said, are you pilot or navigator? I went to say, I cannot, which is I cannot answer that question, sir. And your head explodes. They hit you around the head with a baseball bat, and they just spend their life beating you with baseball bats, rubber truncheons, set your hair on fire, they burn you with cigarettes. My knee was quite bad from the ejection, and I'm really irritated with this. They kind of karate kicked with the heel down on my heel, and I let out a yelp. I just remember, I yelped. And then they just went mad. They pulled me out, and you could tell they found a point. And eventually I just said pilot. Then the interrogation moves on to a different level. But my pride is I don't think I released a single bit of information that was worth anything. What you see on television actually is acting. You don't eyeball them because, again, they beat you more. So I thought I'll just convey that I am here under duress. So I very much put my eye out. I very much I'll play like this. I talked really slowly and quietly. I just said, I'm Flight Lieutenant Peters, we bombed an airfield. But my real pride is they had a whole script, and I just played punch drunk, and I got away with that. So I never said the script. The bomb hit the lower floor, and that was our scariest time. 5 bombs came in. And then it stopped and it went quiet, and you can't help but think the war's over. And then the following morning, there's a knock on my door, the door opened, and it was suddenly a guy stood there in his jacket. He did his jacket up like this. He went, "Good morning, Flight 10 Peters. I would just like to tell you the war's over. If there's anything my staff can do for you, please ask." And that was the beginning of our release. It was ridiculous. Then we flew home. The Air Force has said there's a whole load of media attention. Are you okay? I went, yeah, I'm fine, okay. But I arrived home, and it was that's when you realise your world's changed, because there was a wall of light. And then you see your son come out, and I thought Guy was going to forget me because he was 2, but he ran along the path going, "Daddy, Daddy." And that was, however much I love my aircraft force career, that was the best moment in my whole career. My overriding memory of the Gulf in reality now is I can't change the experience, and in many respects it was a gift. It's transformed my life. However much you may not have changed, the world now perceives you differently. So I've gone from a fighter pilot where I'm meant to, eat glass and fly one of these things, rocket around the world in that regard, to thousands of letters, and the majority I got were people who were abused as children. And I am an immoral obscenity in many respects. 45,000 Iraqis died, hundreds of ours guys. And the price of a barrel of oil went up and down. The nicest thing is the fact that Kuwait got its country back. So we liberated Kuwait, and they've been very generous in their thanks to us. War is war, and I'm a military pilot who drops bombs. What are you really going to do to me? So they used violence against someone like me. And it's not the Iraqi people are bad or any country is bad. That is war. People do bad things in war. So I'm ambivalent about what happened to me, really. Yes, it was illegal. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. I could close my eyes and if I involve myself, I can smell what it's like being a prisoner of war. It never leaves you. But it is what it is.